Welcome guys, we're in the final stages of the CARF F4 Phantom, absolute stunning aircraft. It's been a real pleasure to work on this so far. This is video 5, actually the final video on this aircraft. And we've got a little bit of a short list of things to do still, and then we will get into the engine runs, final setups and stuff like that. So let's dive back in to this beautiful composite ARF F4 Phantom. All right, so we got our batteries charging, and these are just our setup batteries, but these are the 5 batteries that we're charging up to get ready to run this aircraft. All right, so the list I made last night when we kind of shut things down, this is the things that I know of are left to do. So number 1, mount receivers. We've got our primary receiver in there. We've got to mount our other 2 receivers. We've got to do our fill lines, which are for filling up the tanks. I kind of want to do that first or in the beginning so we can get some fuel sitting in the UATs. We need to do test fit of the drop tanks, so they're still wrapped up. We'll get those fit. We need to clean up receiver wires. That's on the board on the other side. We need to goop our connectors. So once our receiver wires are all organized, we're going to goop our connectors where they plug into the various devices. We need to get our batteries mounted in the main section, also in the forward section, and get our extensions done up for that. That's a lot. And that's kind of the to-do list. And then we have to obviously do our test runs and stuff. So we did end up ordering a set of Revoc bags. So we are ordering the main wing bags and we're ordering the wing tip bags. Now initially, when this plane was kind of in the planning stage over the past few months and everything, the intention was to roll this into the van with the wings installed. Well, the wing dimension is about 4 inches too wide to fit in the owner's van. So we do have to take the wings on and off. So that's going to change things a little bit. So therefore we need the Revoc bags for all those items. Now, I did look on the website as well too, and it looks like they make covers for the intakes, which is awesome because when you transport this, the intakes, you want them to be off if you're leaving the fuselage fully put together. I'll show you why. So when you put the fuselage together, this is the intake on the side, and if you had the intake installed, this little section right here hangs below the fuselage, and this becomes the point that actually contacts the, if you're putting it on a big foam pad. So just feel safer having these things off. They need to be off for assembly anyways, so that's why we got the bags for the intakes, I think. Still waiting to hear back from Revoc, but I believe so. So I may be detailed on some of this stuff, may not be detailed on some of it. Some of it's pretty straightforward. So let's get diving into the stuff we need to get done. Step number 1, mount receivers, but I also need to figure out batteries as well too. So let's kind of do those things. All right, so both of our clone or our second receiver and our 900 are set up in the nose here. So we got really good access to those guys. Antennas are nice and of course located in the nose. Getting our batteries sorted out here in the main compartment. So we're using the single battery holder that we print here. We have those listed on our website, and I've marked out on the fuselage where that's getting mounted, and we'll sand that guy out with some sandpaper, doing the same thing on the other side. And for our nose section, we're going to screw down one of our 3 battery holders, again listed on our website, and we will have some flush mount or some surface mounted plugs here, and those are what we're using rather than putting holes in here, because again, if we find that we want to take one of these batteries and move it back to the main compartment area, we can do that quite easily, and we can get rid of that extension and it's not permanently mounted. So will be a nice setup for everything. So this is going to be a good setup. Happy with it all. So let's get those other ones glued in the fuselage so they can cure. All right, we are out of good old Hysol, so we're using West Systems 610 to glue these battery holders in place. Great stuff, I like using it. It takes quite a while to cure and kick off, so in this case we'll mix this guy up. We'll use it, and then we'll use a little bit of CA to hold those guys in place to make sure they don't move. All right, so battery leads have been run. We have to do a little bit of fastening in the back portion there. You can see here what our front plate looks like. So we've got our 3 battery holder. We have to put some Velcro on there. We're gonna label each of these guys. So pretty straightforward. We've got 3-cell 4000, 3-cell 4000, 2-cell 5000. And we do have enough battery lead here that if for some reason this needs to come off, it can just be removed with the 1 bolt on the underside, and then it can come off and tuck inside for some reason if we needed, you know, this extra space or whatever. That's why we left it there. So with our receivers here, we just are gonna make 1 wiring harness that goes from the main section to the front. So we need 3 plugs here and 3 plugs in the back. So what that looks like, we're doing our layup here. So we've got E1 of clone is going to R2 of central box 310. E2 of clone is going to E2 on primary. 900 E1 is going to R3 on central box 310. So we're gonna make that wiring lead up, wiring harness up, and we'll get that run as well. All right, and I think we are ready to put some fuel in this girl. So we've got the drop tanks completed. We've got all of our gooping completed. Our lines are run forward for the batteries. We've got our 2 3-cells, 1 2-cell plugged in, so that's done. So shot on this side here, turbine battery right, plugs in there and mounts here. Can't put our Velcro on this yet because we've got our 610 aero epoxy, which is still wet or not cured, so we'll do that after. The lights, of course, this is just an extension. We put a little bit of goop on all of our connectors there. Turbines are programmed. Now the only thing we need to check when we fill this thing up is our amount of fuel we actually put in. Same thing on this side. So we've got our turbine left battery, which is also a gear battery. And then these 2 are the leads that run forward. Now, if this front part of the fuselage needs to come off, it's doable, but when you're taking the wings off, of course, you're unplugging here, and bolt is right there, so there's really good access to the bolt still, which is no problem. And yeah, so everything's nicely organized on the board. All of our wires are tied together, and we're ready to put some fuel in this thing. So fuel fillers we put right here. So we've got a little drip catch right there. I don't have enough 6mm valves, so we're missing a 6mm valve on that side. But this here is what the fuel system looks like, which is our normal fuel system for this type of setup. So good, so let's get our fuel system hooked up, and we will put some fuel in the UATs, check volume on the tanks, and go from there. All right, so we've got her flipped around. Barely was able to turn this thing around in the shop here, just crazy. We've got our turbine batteries put in, just confirming the tanks are 5 liters, or that's what we calculated them out to be. So our fuel consumption or fuel volume is correct. And we've got about 4 liters of fuel in there to fire these things up. So what I'm gonna do is open up the shop door. We're gonna fire this thing up and see how it goes. We're gonna leave the intakes off. And the reason we're leaving the intakes off is so we've got a good view of everything that's going on inside. Obviously our GSUs are on the right side of the aircraft, so we need to be able to see those. And this is gonna be pretty crazy. So let's fire this big girl up. All right, so shop door's open, lights are on, and she is ready. This is exciting, exciting moment. We've got some extra hands here helping us out. Hold this thing back because we know how much push it's got. So as we go through the run-up process, I will put up on the screen exactly what's going on, but we're doing all of our normal stuff. So starting up the engines, letting them stabilize at idle, we'll do some acceleration tests. That's basically it. So yeah, fun. Let's do this. All right, so I just turned the lights off just so we don't have any weird things going on with the camera here. Trim up. I'm gonna check the GSUs on this side. And brakes are on. Now we didn't prime the engines, so there's a good chance that it won't start the first time. Everything's pretty short, but we'll see. Okay, so we're gonna prime those engines. Okay, so try number 2. Nez lost her crap, hey?
I was like, oh.
I didn't realize she was up there.
Where did she go?
She ran to the door and Alicia let her in. Oh yeah, it's a lot. So that, guys, is impressive. I don't know if the camera picked it up in the location, but the Afterburner lights too are mental. I think the camera would have picked up the back end. So crazy, crazy, crazy. So everything runs good, as it should. Very cool. Take off flaps. Nez is never going to want to go back in here. Well, I got to say, guys, what a monster of an aircraft. It is wild. So impressive, absolutely stunning, stellar. Everything works so well on it. And what a piece of equipment. It is amazing. So last thing we need to work on is our chute. So we've got to do some stuff with the chute here. I need to read the instructions because I think, I'm just going to give you my opinion here. I think the way this works is the plunger gets held back and I think the pin, the release from the bottom, releases the plunger, and then if you go further, it releases the chute release. So I think it's kind of a two-stage thing, so need to see how this all pans out here and try and figure that part out. I'll share with you guys what I figured out here. So the way it's set up right now is number 1 switch or right switch releases the door, and I never locked the plunger all the way. The chute release is on another switch, so we need to do some mixing, I think, here. We'll see. All right, guys, well, that chute programming is a ton of work. So the way we've got it set up now is when we flick our chute switch, which is SM, the door is opening quickly. The plunger is going to release in about 4 seconds after the door opens. And then we've got an override for SN. So if we flick SN, that's the release. So that pin needs basically 2 positions. So hopefully this works. Let's see. And chute will release. Boom. Awesome. And then if we flick the other switch, then the actual pin releases the chute and the chute can fly away. And then when we want to reload this, it does have to be wrapped up very tight. So we can push the plunger in, flick our switch to close everything. Then we wrap up the chute nice and tight. Slide it in there. You get the door in place. And because there's a slow on the pin releasing the plunger, we flick the switch for like half a second, push the door in, and then flick it the other way. So flick switch, door in, flick switch. So the plunger doesn't have a chance to release. So right now, the chute is armed and good to go. Awesome. Final step. All right, so we're going to try the hatches. We haven't tried those yet. So the way the hatches work is you've got 3 carbon pins, your interlock for the connector for the light on the bottom, and then there is a button head right there. So we'll slide this guy on, do up that front button head first, slip it in, and there we go. And that light on the bottom is very impressive. Well, what a magnificent aircraft. We had some minor problems and minor things to fix as we went through this project, but ultimately it's done well. Nezzy likes hiding underneath it, and she's ready for her maiden flight. We're going to be maidening this aircraft at Tucson Jets near the end of March, and very much looking forward to that. It's not often you get to work on something like this, and the scale of this thing is absolutely incredible. So keep an eye out, guys, for maiden flight footage coming up. and it's going to be a good one. So thanks so much for tuning into the series. If you have any questions or comments, list them down below. Thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel, and we'll see ya in the next video.